What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Nesson Studios. Michaela Vernava alongside Andre Kachatourian, and we are joined via Skype by UFC fighter Dominick Reyes. Dominick, I know you're fresh off a big win at UFC 218. First of all, just want to thank you for joining us today.
Thank you guys for having me.
Hey, I'm excited to talk with you. You're a very interesting fighter from what I've read. And the first thing, when I go to your Wikipedia page that I find really, really interesting is in the box that has just basic info, where you're born, that you're a mixed martial artist, of course. It also says occupation IT technical support. And I checked a bunch of other fighters' Wikipedia pages. They don't have an occupation listing other than just that they're an MMA fighter. So I'm just curious what this is. I also know that you went to Stony Brook University and graduated with a degree in economics, I believe.
In information systems, specializing in business and economics.
Yeah, so can you just tell us a little bit about what you do as in IT? That's very interesting.
Well, I just recently resigned, obviously. But before I was managing an entire high school campus. Everything that plugs in, I was responsible for.
So you did that while you were, prior to your UFC career primarily. A year ago at this time, you were fighting at a promotion called Hoosier Fight Club. What was the atmosphere like a year ago when you were over there compared to what you saw at UFC 218 in Detroit?
About 15,000 more people, and just same cage, same fight, but just more people. I guess more room to move around too in the cage.
So rising up through the ranks, you're making less money, there are less eyes on you, but I have to imagine you're still working really, really hard day in and day out because you've now made the jump, which congratulations to the UFC. But that's where I'm curious is how did you balance being able to work an IT job where, from what you just said, sounds pretty involved, you're running an entire high school campus, and balance that with training MMA?
It was tough. I'm just very committed to my craft and what I know what I want out of my life. So I just, put my nose to the grindstone and just worked every day, and paid off.
And you also played college football at Stony Brook. So I'm curious how that experience in college football has helped you and when you made the transition from playing football to MMA.
It's helped me tremendously, especially by being able to be coachable. In college football, there was so many minute changes that needed to be made every day, and I was able to bring that mentality and that coachability over to MMA, and I think now I'm extremely coachable. I'm very, very athletic because of football and just the gifts I've been given. And yeah, I mean, football has been a huge part of it.
Now, speaking of coaching, you're working with Joe Stephenson right now. What has it been like to work with him?
It's fun. It's a lot of fun working with Joe. He's a funny guy, and we see eye to eye. So I enjoy working with Joe.
On the surface, when you look at a sport like football compared to MMA, it is much more individual when you're a fighter compared to football, obviously very much a team sport. How do the two compare just in terms of, I mean, even though it is very individual, your coaches and your support system and just how those two sports maybe are more similar than they appear?
Yeah, I mean, you have to have a good team around you. Either way, whether it's fighting or football, you have to have people who understand the ultimate goal and who are willing to work towards it with you, even if they don't get the glory. So, like, a great training partner is like an offensive lineman. He's going to bust his ass and work really hard, but he's not necessarily going to get that glory. So I see it kind of the same way.
Now, this past Saturday, you submitted Jeremy Kimball very quickly in the first minute. You have a knack of doing this. 8-0 right now in your career. 7 of your wins via finish. Is this something you are looking to keep on doing as your career progresses? Just finish these fights quickly and maybe put yourself in title shot consideration within the next couple of years or so?
Yeah, that's the goal, man. Finish people as soon as possible. I don't get paid to get hit. I get paid to finish fights. So I'm here to finish people and have fun and get my title shot when the time comes.
I know you just finished up a big fight, but do you have anyone on your radar for the next one? Who are you targeting or got your eye on?
I got my eye on everybody who's ahead of me right now, but as far as specific opponent, I got nobody right now. But I got to talk to my management, get a contract written up for the next fight, and we'll see.
You came pretty unscathed after that that last fight. I mean, the first minute was a little. You got hit there, but like you finished that fight pretty quickly. You seem pretty healthy. When are you looking to get that next fight?
Around March. I'm looking March, April.
March or April.
So what is it much downtime? What will this period be like for you? You have sounds like a little bit of time off, but not all that much.
Yeah, it's I'm gonna enjoy the holidays. I have a birthday coming up, Christmas and New Year. I'm gonna be in training, but not not really hard, killing myself, just enjoying it and learning new techniques. So right now it's kind of a learning new stuff phase, and then we'll get back into the camp phase.
You've already faced so many challenges from what I've read, just in terms of breaking through and breaking in. I know it's tough for all fighters, but since you've been through so much and been successful so far, what challenges do you see ahead of you compared to what you've already been through?
Future challenges, every fight's a challenge. Every guy you're fighting brings something new to the table, so you have to train for it. You have to overcome the doubt and everything, and get your mind right and ready to fight.
Now, I want to go back to your football career once again real quickly. You were in the NFL Draft Combine. What was that like, that whole process, as someone from a smaller school at Stony Brook? Just tell us what that whole process was like.
Oh, it was really cool. My combine was at the Jets. Well, we had our pro day at our own facility, but then my combine was at the Jets facility. So it was really nice. A lot of pressure because one run determines your whole life, basically. And it was cool, though. It was a lot of professionals around, a lot of talented football players. But it was just cool. It was a cool experience.
So having that pressure on you, when you say, one thing can really affect you, it seems like that would be sort of similar to being in the octagon. Do you ever think about that in terms of what's going through your mind before you start a fight?
Yeah, I mean, I've looked at everything I've done up to this point, everything I've worked for, and it all has to mean something. And for me, a loss kind of nullifies things that I've done up to that point.
Now, your nickname, the Devastator, obviously we've all seen your fighting style. It's a very devastating style of fighting, but who gave you that name?
I actually got it from my brothers because I used to be the Dominator. I grew up with that name, but Dominick Reyes had that name, and I got respect for those who come before me. So I changed to the Devastator because me and my brothers were sparring, and I was kicking them, and they were like, "Dude, those kicks are devastating, man. If you landed a head kick or, even across the forearm, you might break the forearm." So that's where the Devastator came in.
So did your fighting career really start out against your poor brothers?
Yeah, it actually did. It did. When we used to come home on breaks from the holidays from football, we would all spar like a king of the ring. It was pretty intense, but a lot of fun.
Now, I feel like all siblings kind of have that dynamic, or at least most of them. But I have to say, I have a little bit of sympathy for your brothers. I feel like it takes it to a whole new level when your brother goes on to become a light heavyweight fighter. That's going to be pretty tough.
Yeah, they're actually bigger than me, so
wow.
It's all good.
So you worked out at his gym after your football career ended, correct? Is that someone your brother kind of like looked after you and tried to get you into mixed martial arts?
It just kind of happened naturally. I was at home looking for something to do, and he had a gym open, so I came in.
Well, Dominick, thank you so much for talking with us. Happy birthday and happy holidays. Hope you enjoy this time before you really hit the bricks for your next fight. And hopefully we'll check in with you sometime before then.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Dominick. Take it easy.